Today, we're decoding an absolute tactical chess match. Look, we all know Argentina is a footballing powerhouse, but their recent victories actually reveal a secret weapon that goes way beyond just individual talent. We're going to use their fiercely contested game against Egypt as our prime case study today, and we're going to uncover the kind of tactical adjustments that separate really good teams from truly legendary ones.
It's a fascinating question to kick things off, isn't it? How on earth do you defeat a team that just changes the rules mid-game? Because here's the thing, I'd argue that Argentina's real strength isn't just their incredible star power. It's actually their manager's uncanny ability to completely alter their tactical identity on the fly to solve really complex defensive puzzles.
Let's get right into it with Section 1, Argentina's center overload.
To really grasp Argentina's adaptability, we first have to understand their standard baseline under Lionel Scaloni. And it's a baseline that aggressively defies the modern football trend of stretching the pitch as wide as possible. Think about these players: Alexis McAllister, Rodrigo de Paul, Enzo Fernandez, Lionel Messi, and Julian Alvarez. Instead of using traditional winners hugging the touchlines, Scaloni basically packs the center of the field with highly technical, centrally focused guys. The whole point here is how they use that dense core. Their strategy is to literally punch their way right through the middle of the pitch. They aggressively overload the channels around whoever has the ball, and that allows them to bop the ball through these incredibly tight spaces vertically. We're talking rapid one-touch passes, perfect body positioning, and just lethal third-man combinations. When it's clicking, it's honestly breathtaking. But teams adapt, which brings us to Section 2, the Egyptian roadblock. In tournament football, opponents are always watching, right? And Egypt figured out a highly frustrating, highly effective way to stifle that central overload. They essentially said, fine, we'll meet you in the middle. They deployed this incredibly compact 4-4-2 defensive block. By sitting super deep in their own half and purposefully crowding out the central midfield, they absorbed the pressure and completely choked out those rapid passing lanes that Argentina relies on. They built a literal wall right in the middle of Argentina's playground. Now, the obvious counter to a team packing the middle is to just use the width of the pitch. But Egypt was perfectly happy to concede all that wide space to Argentina's fullbacks, Nicolas Tagliafico and Nahuel Molina. Why? Because they're fullbacks, not natural wingers who are going to turn a defender inside out. Egypt knew for a fact that giving them space out wide just wasn't a lethal threat. Which highlights the one missing ingredient in Argentina's initial setup. They had almost no runners stretching the defense from behind. Without players making those darting runs to stretch the backline vertically, Egypt could just sit back comfortably. They stalled the game out, absorbed that central pressure, and just waited for their own counterattacks. It was a total tactical stalemate. So, what do? Section 3, Scaloni's tactical pivot. When your primary weapon is neutralized, you pivot. And this is the moment Scaloni recognized the roadblock, looked at his bench, and completely abandoned his preferred game plan. It was a 3-step masterstroke right after the 66th minute. Step 1, Scaloni subs on Nico Gonzalez, a guy who provides natural width, can take on a fullback, and make runs. Step 2, he brings on Lautaro Martinez to act as that missing vertical runner behind the defensive line. And Step 3, he completely changes the geometry of the pitch by moving Lionel Messi out into a wide area. Suddenly, Egypt's compact backline is getting stretched both horizontally and vertically. Let's see exactly how this played out in Section 4, breaking down the goals. The impact of this pivot was basically immediate, and the cause and effect is undeniable. For Goal 1, you have Messi operating in his new wide area, stretching that 4-4-2 block, which allows him to deliver the ball perfectly for a Cristiano Romero header. Goal 2 is just pure tactical synergy. Nico Gonzalez makes this wide back post run, forcing the Egyptian defense deep into their own box, and that opens up space for Messi to arrive late and score the rebound. By Goal 3, Egypt is forced to push up to chase the game, opening massive space for a fast transition where runners like Lautaro Martinez and Enzo Fernandez, who scores the header, can finally exploit the open field. Every single goal stemmed directly from Scaloni pulling those Egyptian defenders out of their comfortable block. Which brings us to our final takeaway, Section 5, the real superpower. We've spent a lot of time looking at the players, but the true brilliance here originated on the sidelines. I absolutely love this quote from our source material. For all the talk of Lionel Messi's brilliance, it's also hats off to Scaloni for using him in the right way. You can have the greatest player in the history of the sport, but if out-of-possession dynamics change and the defense builds a wall, you have to adapt. Scaloni's real superpower is his willingness to do things that feel completely unnatural to his squad's primary identity just to solve the puzzle in front of him. He altered the entire system just so a genius like Messi could find the space to thrive. So I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder.
If you're an opposing manager and you realize you aren't just facing incredible talent, but a squad that treats your absolute best defensive tactics like mere puzzles to be dismantled, when a team has the world's best player and the tactical genius to adapt to literally any defense, how do you stop them? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you on the next one.